so that didn't work. Thought I might be able to do it from the side. Hello, Brother D. Just sent you the invite. What's up, Big Al Kicks? Well, hello, sir.
Yo, what's up, Chris? How you doing, bro?
Man. Pretty good, man. I really appreciate you, you know what I'm saying, being on the show, man. Thank you.
No doubt. I think this was a long time coming. We should have been did this, bro. But
Absolutely.
it's an honor to be a part of your show.
Man, thank you. Thank you. Well, I got so many things to ask, but I'm gonna start with what was the most positive thing you took, from 2020?
The most positive thing I took from 2020. Life is short, man. Life is short, and cherish your loved ones, check on your loved ones. I think that's the most positive thing that I took, bro.
Gotcha. Most definitely. Most definitely. Well, I mean, I feel like I know a lot, but let's tell everybody about yourself, who you are, where you're from.
My name is Brother D. My real name is Daryl. I'm from Pleasantville, New Jersey. I've been collecting shoes since I was 12 years old. I'm 32, so 20 years I've been collecting shoes. The last time I counted my shoes was maybe 6 or 7 years ago, and it was a little north of 850 pairs. So it's definitely north of 1,000 now. I haven't counted in forever, and I'm actually scared to count.
Ooh, ooh.
That's it, man. I work in the medical field. I've been in the medical field since 2007. I also work for Foot Locker. Next month I'll be at Foot Locker for, I believe, 13 or 14 years. I think that's pretty much a decent recap for me of me.
Wow, that's good. I didn't know that you were with Foot Locker. I've worked for them three different times. So
I know you be making your rounds, bro. I be peeping every time you post. You make your rounds, bro.
yeah, man. Just trying to, even if I'm doing something else, just trying to still, have that in, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, all right. Well, I gotta ask what you broke out. You have a vault of sneakers. So what did you break out today, or did you wear these sneakers today?
Today I wore some Kobe 6. I kind of try to do some like sneakers hack and wear Kobe 6s and win Kobe 6s. I wore these today. Something super light. I had work today and I wasn't really trying to wear nothing super crazy. I wore these. What did I bring out? I brought out pretty much one of my favorite PEs. I guess I can say it's Grail status. I'm gonna bring two out actually. Where's my other one at? I'm gonna bring these two out real quick. And these are probably like my favorite two. My favorite Kobe, my Grail Kobe, is Snake Pool Hyper Dunks. Anybody that knows me knows that Snake Pool Hyper Dunks is like the Kobe for me. So I'm not going to bring that out because it's going to be like super like, yo, this is his favorite Kobe. We already know it's everywhere. This right here, these Kobe Home PEs, these are probably like my second Grail. A lot of people don't know about these. After Snake Pool, probably these in terms of Grail status. Never released to the public that I can think of at the top of my head. It took me like forever and a day to grab these. As you can see, that's saran wrap, man. That's saran wrap, and then they go in a Ziploc bag, and they go in the dark in the closet, right at the bottom of the closet. So these are it. After these, after those is probably these right here, man. It's pretty much the reverse Snake Pool. Kobe wore these. If anybody's familiar with the Kobe Doing Work documentary that Spike Lee did, where Kobe's pretty much like that new details thing he did on ESPN like the last few years before he passed. Kobe Doing Work is pretty much the same thing, where he's literally diving deep into the game. It's the Lakers versus the Spurs, and he's pretty much telling and talking about his attack and his approach to the game. And he wears these in that DVD. These released, but I think only 24 pairs exist, if I'm not mistaken. They came in a glass.
Or the clear
box with a glass lid. Uh,
Yeah.
Super underrated. I own these, but these are not my size. That's how like hard it was to obtain these. I think this is like a 9 or a 9.5. So this is like probably like my third. Anything purple and yellow, that's what I love. I'm a diehard Laker fan. I'm a diehard Kobe fan. But after snake pulls, it's probably those two. I know I bring out when I do lives or when I take pictures shoes, I bring out Rice, Kobe ones too. Those are up there too. That's actually the first PE I ever had. Um, so those are my favorites, bro. Those are my favorite joints.
I had to brace myself before we got started. I mean, our face, like, yeah. I mean, yeah. I have so many Kobe questions I need to ask you after I ask my normal questions.
For
But
sure, bro. So
let me stay on task because I'm so. What's your earliest sneaker moment?
my earliest sneaker moment. I mean, I was actually on the sneakers app. My earliest sneaker moment that I like that got me into sneakers is the I mean, we call them the He Got Games, the 13s. I was in the 4th grade and the playoffs was going on, I believe. And I watched the game like the night before, and then I came to school and like every single one of my my classmates had these shoes on, and I'm like, yo, I gotta have like this is the like I've seen plenty of shoes, and I was like, yo, I gotta have these. Like, what are we doing here? I got home from school and I'm like, yo, mom, we gotta go get these shoes. And she's like, nah, I ain't really got. And I like, bro, I begged her for so many days. I'm like, yo, whatever I gotta do, take the trash out, sweeping the steps and the washing dishes was a big thing in my house. Did all that. Finally got her to take me, and they was gone, bro. They was sold out. Couldn't get them. And the part I didn't tell about the sneakers that my I said I had a consolation prize, but I didn't talk about what the consolation prize was. My consolation prize was the Grant Hills, but I ended up getting those shoes, and I actually ended up falling in love with them. So like my second favorite shoe of all time is probably Grant Hills. Um, so that's my early sneaker memory. Um, like I said, I've been a part of sneakers for 20 years, bro. So I got a lot of me. I remember camping out. Matter of fact, I remember when Kobe won the chip against Orlando. That's another one that was supposed to be my original. For the people that's on live, and want to know like something crazy. My original live, I mean my original sneakers feature was supposed to be Kobe's, and it was going to be on the Kobe's that he won the finals against Orlando. And I remember they only dropped, the closest House of Hoops that dropped them was in Harlem. I lived in Pleasantville, so I took a Greyhound bus from Atlantic City to Port Authority, then a train from Port Authority to 125th, and I camped out. In the middle of me camping out, I actually had to request vacation, a 7-day vacation. In the middle of me camping out, they changed the dates. I had to call my manager and rechange my vacation. In the middle of taking the vacation, Nike decided to switch the release date. I had to call my manager and change my vacation date, and I camped out for 7 days. And but back then it wasn't like, yo, we just outside for 7 days. They did like an hour on top of the hour camp out. So you check out. I mean, you check in at 1, then you leave, and from 1 to 2, you can do whatever as long as you're there, or 2 on the dot, and then you go do your thing. And I camped out for the Kobe's. That was a big deal. Like, that was the first time like I really got on a bus and traveled for like 2 hours, and then got on the train to go get some shoes. Tracy Morgan actually pulled up in a lime green Lamborghini in Harlem, pulled up and was like kicking it with it. And then it was so rowdy out there. Cops had paddy wagons. That was a cool memory. Galaxy Phone Posit was probably one of the more traumatizing campouts, and that was one where like, yo, we was really on the scene for like 7 days. Like, we ain't go home. Dinner was really like Wawa and like Quick Check. I don't know if everybody's on this live is familiar with any of those stores, but it's like convenience store, hot food. I think we rented a hotel the first night because we thought it was going to be a breeze. But the night was, I mean, the days got so hectic. It was so much chaos. It was so many people from coming for different places for these phone posits. You really kind of had to be in the parking lot for 7 days.
Yeah.
So that's another memory. What's another memory? I remember I was around when, was that 2012, 2013, when like literally every Jordan that hit the shelf was selling out for no reason. Like no matter, it didn't matter what the Jordan was, didn't matter what the colorway was. For some reason, everything sold out. And it was really one of them Jordans where like, yeah, you had to be there at 10 a.m. Like it was no like, I'm gonna go wake up at like 10 and I'm gonna get there at 11 and they're gonna be there. It was like, nah, like if you're not in this line, and it was ridiculous, like shoes that like, yo, why are these selling out? Like you wake up
Yeah.
thinking like, yo, I'm gonna catch these, like these ain't going nowhere. And it was like, nah, if you're not here, they gone, bro. So I was around for that. I was around for the times when Kobe's wasn't so popular, when it was a super like close group where like everybody that was a Kobe sneaker fan, you pretty much knew each other, or you knew somebody through somebody, or you knew about somebody through somebody. Then I remember when Kobe's blew up, like right after like the 5, 6. Then I remember it went to like a whole nother international level, like right after the 6. Like
Yep.
once they did the Barker pack with the 6s, that's when like he was pretty much like a household name. And one thing that's crazy is, me and you both work at Foot Locker, and I'm sure some people that are on this live worked at a sneaker store. I remember the struggles when the Kobe 4 and the Kobe 5 came out, trying to tell a parent like, yo, your son can wear these to AAU, or he can wear these for high school basketball. And they was like, no, we only want to get him high tops because he's going to crack his ankle. Like that was a struggle to sell Kobe's. And it's like, here I am, like, yo, I'm a Kobe fan. I own these, like, and I play basketball. And a matter of fact, I think at the time I was coaching college basketball, and it was like, yo, your son's going to be fine. I remember the struggle selling parents and like kids having to like beg their mom, like, yo, mom, I gotta have these. I really want these. But they was like, yo, they're low tops. I'm gonna buy these shoes, spend this $130, and then you're gonna break your ankle, you're gonna hurt your ankle, and then we gotta come back and get these hyper dunks. But then I remember when like they was flying off the shelf. Then I remember the Prelude era when like every Kobe was like they was like Jordans again. Like if you're not there at the top of the morning, you're not getting them.
Yeah. Like I remember, because the second time I worked for Foot Locker, that was when it was the Kobe 2 and the Kobe 3, and it was really hard to move them. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I didn't know either of those well, and those are my two favorites. You
yeah,
know what I mean? The 4 was easy to say. I used to get people on the traction because I'm like, look at the bottom. You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, 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 yeah.
People that was trying to, but I don't know, man. It's before this stuff. I just want to say this because I'm senile. I'll forget. I do. The stuff with Vanessa is unfortunate because stuff was starting to kind of get back to normal with the
Yeah,
Kobe.
yeah,
Kobe expensive were always expensive, but it's kind of gone back again. You know, where any sneaker boutique you go to, they'd be like, "Yeah, it's the hype wall," and I'm like, "So every Kobe is on the
yeah,
hype wall,
bro.
and
Yeah,
colorway?
bro.
They're all hype, huh?"
Yeah,
Well,
bro. I'm not gonna hold you. It's getting nasty with the Kobe's, and like, and I had like a moment. I've been having moments these last couple drops to the day. I was talking to a lot of I'm in a couple of different Kobe chats. Shout out to my friends. I got a couple friends in here right now. I see Mark. I saw Wayne. I saw Will. I told Will I was gonna give him a shout out. Shout out to Will. I promised I was gonna give him a shout out, and I see him now. Shout out to Will, DMX guy. But I'm in like 2 or 3 different Kobe chats, and like the last couple times I kind of had to say, and it's kind of like telling your girlfriend or telling whoever you with, like, yo, we kind of gotta chill, like this ain't working out. And I kind of had to say, like, yo, in some way, I'm kind of happy that this is probably the last Kobe. And I say that because Nike's handling this very nastily, bro. Like they moving real nasty, and I'd rather them do it this way and like let this be the last Kobe. And if y'all can reach a deal to where like these are really obtainable, or don't do it at all. Because if you're gonna reach a deal and like y'all gonna keep moving like this, like then this is what is gonna be like forever. Like there's nothing that's gonna change to make these more available unless you're like, yo, we're gonna sign a deal and we're gonna make these more available. And when the news first came out that Vanessa wanted to do deal, everybody kind of speculated, she want more money, she wants something like a Kobe building at Nike, or she wants something outrageous. But like when you really get to the nitty gritty, she really was like, yo, I really just want these to be more available. And the fact that that's a term that Nike's kind of like nah, we kind of can't get down with that. Like, I mean, like, and it's no knock to Nike, but like, I just think like, I don't think that's is that a tall order? Like, when we got 57 different colors of Air Force Ones, and I remember they was going prestige crazy. Remember the Nike prestige? Like, you had it in your budget to make prestiges, and I mean, like, we worked for Foot Locker, so you know the models that we see that end up going on sale for like
Yeah.
$16. So I mean, like, if y'all had it in the budget for that, why you can't get it for sure that you know is going to sell or something? If you got to put it on clearance, it ain't going to go that far down. So I think it's hard to think about it, but I think that I'm okay with Kobe's not dropping anymore until both sides can get it right. And like I said, I don't think it's too tall of an order for Nike to just like, yo, let's make it a little bit more. I'm not asking you to make these GRs where they like all white Air Force Ones. Nah, but like, let them be a little bit more available, especially to the fans. And then honestly, even Nike's, I know I'm almost kind of rambling. I'm cutting you off. I see you about to talk, but like this is
Nah, man.
very near and dear to my heart. You know what I'm saying? Which is obviously why you got me on the 24th show, and thank you for that. I'm very appreciative. But like, this is a subject that's very near and dear to my heart because like this is like, I mean, I started off collecting like Jordans and other things, but like once I got the Kobe and once he had his own shoe, I pretty, you know, I was 10 toes deep in it. And it's kind of like, I don't think this is a tall order for Nike to just be like, yo, let's make these more available. Even when you kind of get to the fact of like who they're seeding these pairs out, like the people that are like, they're giving these pairs to the like whatever they're doing, like then, like if you're gonna give it to a popular YouTuber art, like I understand that. If you're gonna get it to somebody that's like into sneakers that has a heavy following, by all means. But like they're giving it to like celebrities that don't even have anything to do with sneakers, and some people whose demographic, like, all right, you're gonna give it to like Bow Wow, like you're giving Grinches to Bow Wow, like his demographic may not even be sneakers, and then his demographic may not even be Kobe sneakers. So like, what we really doing
Yeah, what
here?
we do?
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, what we
like, and like I would like to see like the fans get a little bit more, like the diehard fans, and then like, bro, like a lot of this I don't know. So this is really like my thought process, how I think, and they may not be thinking the same way, or they may be not even thinking like this may be something they want to do, they're not thinking about. So this, like, don't, whoever's watching this, don't think like this is me coming at Nike, because I'm 100% not coming out. This is just my point of view. um why don't you have a budget to where like you're fine, like, because it's not hard to find who the top Kobe fans are, but like there's a lot of big Kobe sneak, like, and that's another thing. It's like, it's some people that are Kobe fans who just really kind of love him, and they may have like 6 Kobe shoes, but there's some people that are Kobe fans and that are Kobe shoe fan lovers. And actually, there's people that don't like Kobe that love his shoes. I went to school where, like, when I coached college basketball, they were LeBron. He's like, yo, I hate Kobe. Like, I hope Kobe loses in the finals, but like, I gotta have his shoes because those are the only shoes I hoop in. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's 3 different kind of tiers of this Kobe thing. People that love him, people that love him in his shoes, and people that don't like him but love his shoes. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
why you not allotting a budget to kind of track these people now? Because it's not many of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like, I mean, I'm a ramble something, and this is not everybody. So whoever is on this, and I don't say your name, definitely no slight, but it's kind of like me, you, Hyperdunks, Mark Chua, Will DMX guy, Vince, Wayne,
Khadijah.
Khadijah, Lewis, KB8 the Kid, Toys for Big Boys, who, I mean, it's not like a ton of, it's a lot more. LA Souls, I saw him in here. Jefferson for sure. I know John Register, he's a big fan. I got my dude Kenny from Pleasantville, he's a big fan. You know, me and Jefferson do the KBA 20 page.
I'm familiar. Yeah.
Matt Stormtrooper. It's a bunch of fans like T Mark. You know, he dibble and dabble with the Kobe's. He got a lot of Kobe's on the low. Like, people look at his Kyrie collection and his bronze and his J's and his dunks, but he got Kobe's on the low too. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a ton of us, bro. Like, point blank, I'm not about to ramble every name. Everybody, y'all know who y'all are. Sergio, John Morrow. It's a lot of people that got, you know, all Kobe connection on our Facebook group. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a ton of these dudes, bro. But regardless, the people that really are dibbling, dabbling, you can allot a budget to like, yo, let's go on social media and find these dudes and let's get there. Like, let's have a round table because I know they do it for the Jordan brand. And matter of fact, when they had the All-Star weekend and they flew the dudes out and gave them the airship pack, like they was at the round table making discussion. So like, why we can't have one for Kobe when he literally was holding y'all down, Nike basketball down for years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess, I agree with everything you're saying. For me, it's a little different. Like, I live in North Carolina now, but I'm from Cleveland, so
Word.
we didn't get a House of Hoops until 2013. So a lot
Yeah.
of those just didn't come out here because one person was like, because I was talking numbers and I was like, unfortunately, I probably have twice as many LeBrons as I have Kobe's, but
For sure. I mean, that's demographic though. That's where you
yeah,
got. That's
I'm 2 through 6, you had to get them from a Foot Locker store.
yeah.
You couldn't get, because we still had some mom and pops back in the 2000s. I mean, you get LeBrons anywhere in Cleveland, Akron, or Canton, like anywhere. So
Yeah. Word.
I'm like, but I've had to let people know. I'm like, yeah, I got a lot of LeBrons because I know you're not the, I remember your post after the Lakers won the championship. You was like, LeBron, I'm not a fan of yours. That's had me cracking.
Word. Nah, but he grew on me though. I ain't gonna hold you. LeBron grew on me. I wasn't a big. I was actually like a big like enemy of his. I mean, I ain't gonna say he like I look at like I like a lot of his off court stuff. Honestly, a lot of it in his on court stuff. He just not for me. But I'm trying to lighten. I gotten better because I was real harsh on him. But I'm much better than I was though for sure.
Yeah, like I was, like it was cool to be able to, ride downtown and, see him anytime with the Cavs. Both times he was on the Cavs, but I never wanted him to go to the Lakers initially because I'm like, it's just something not right about it. Like, you know what I mean? But it grew on me, because my wife was talking like, yeah, well, they won a championship now. What can you say? And I'm like,
Word.
And he made it where we can go into a store and get Lakers stuff again because, for a while there, that was kind of hard. You had to go online. But, I have to ask you, I'm going to just go into the Kobe questions and kind of mix the regular questions I normally ask on here in. But
Okay.
what what Kobe got you into, his line? Was it back in the Adidas days or was it, Nike? Like what kind of started that for you?
The shoe that got me in it, that shoe that got me into his line, like purchasing wise, I'm gonna say was Orca 2s, bro. I had Kobe ones, like I bought them, but it was kind of just like Kobe's my guy, I gotta have him. So like I bought the black and yellow pair, I bought the black and purple pair. And I think I got matter of fact, the first, this is Foot Locker. I got the black and white pair first, and then the white, red, and the like the all-star pair, like the quote-unquote all-star pair that he didn't really wear in the all-star game. I got those two because they was on a 50. Got those two.
The 50s, boy.
I really fell in love with Orcas. That's what was like, oh, this is really about to be like if he's gonna keep dropping shoes like these, it's gonna be a problem. Cause like I was dibbling and dabbling with everything. Like I was getting Jordans, I was getting Nike basketball, and I started getting Kobe's. But that was the shoe. But I see people yelling 2K4s. Like I had those, but like information wasn't really like how it is today. So like I was getting them like, oh, these is hot. Like I was balling them, but like the time, like nobody was really trying to give Kobe credit for him at the time. So I had them, and I had those shoes, but and matter of fact, 2K5s was my favorite. The black and gray pair. I actually just got them when I went to my trip to Portland. I just got a brand new dead stock pair in my size. That was like my favorite pair. But like in terms of his signature shoes like that are 100% his. I mean, as Kobe fans, they are his shoes, the 2K4, the 2K5, like the Hyper Dunk. Those is his, but like shoes that like say like Kobe on the box type of thing. Orcas got me, and I backtracked. In terms of like loving them, when I went to, like I said, I'm from Pleasantville, New Jersey. A lot of people don't know where that is. That's the neighboring, like the exact neighboring city of Atlantic City. And I remember when Lakers were in the finals against like Philly, I was the only Laker fan on the bus. And they was coming at me because everybody like T-Mac, Iverson, and Ray Allen. Those three, everybody, I hated all three. I loved Kobe. And they was like, how you like Kobe? He not better than them, and he got trash toaster shoes. So they was coming to shoes. So I had to like him because I liked him, and I had to like fight for him on the court and for his shoes. So I liked them from a distance. But like in terms of like loving them and buying them, the Orca 2 is the first, but I had already had the Kobe 2s, but it was kind of like, I like him, I'm gonna just grab him. So that's the answer to the question.
I got you. For y'all that don't know, this is the Orca. Most of y'all know, you know, for
that's
a lot of y'all
my favorite Kobe like ever.
Yeah, but okay. Yeah, for me, I love the 2. I love the sheath 2 a little bit better than the strength.
Yeah.
But there were so few colors of the sheath that came out in America.
Yeah.
It's like you had. So, but what you
Yep.
said about early 2000s players, it's why I love Kobe so much, because, again, everybody loved Iverson. Everywhere you went, you know, it was Iverson jersey, white or black. The Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, Steve Francis, Paul Pierce, anybody but Kobe. Or it's like, oh, well, I fuck with the Lakers, but I fuck with Shaq. I don't fuck with Kobe. You know,
Yeah.
like, come on, man. Like, this
Yeah.
dude is better than all of those dudes.
Yeah, word.
Oh, like, it doesn't even matter. But
yeah, bro.
For me, I had love for the Adidas, you know, like the KB8s, you know, the
Word.
called.
Yeah, word.
But the Nike shoes were on another level. I always felt that, you know, the 2K4 and 5 weren't the Kobe 1 and 2 just for publicity reasons because of what had happened.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, for sure.
Because they clearly, I mean, I'm pretty sure those are Eric Avar designs. So,
absolutely, yeah.
You know, that they might as well say Kobe. And I remember seeing a few renderings where instead of that Hirachi logo, it's too much trying to get a pair down, but you know, that Hirachi logo on supposed to be a big 8-ball. So
wow. Oh, matter of fact, I think Mark may got a pair like that. I think Hyperdunks Mark 2, I think he got a pair like that. So yeah, sure. Bro. I think I'm in alignment with you saying.
Yeah. But to me, with Kobe 2 through 6, like I said, the 7 is where they stopped just being at Foot Locker and they started being at places like DTLR and different little boutiques, and they started doing the EXT Kobe's. That was where it kind of. But to me, that with the Kobe, the 8, you know, kind of took it to another level where people were buying Kobe's that weren't buying Kobe's before.
Yep.
You know, that hype from those took it to another level. I mean, I sold out of a phenomenon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Came out in America. It was Asia before that. So I know you gave me a number. You know, I'm in the same neighborhood with you. But how many Kobe's do you have? Because I mean, you tell it big.
So this is something that I usually speak on this on when I talk about lives, bro. When I turned 27 years old, so for anybody that's not 27 on this live, and you think you stopped growing at, what is it, men stop growing at 18, women 21, or the other way around, I had a nasty growth spurt, bro, at 27 years old, bro. 27 years old, I had a growth spurt, and I went from like 10 and a half, 11 to like, bro, I'm at 13 now. I'm in a size 13, bro, and I hit a growth spurt at 27, bro. So a lot of Kobe's I had to like get rid of. A lot of them I had to like. A lot of them I was able to trade, like, or sell and rebuy type of thing. The part that sucked is when I started hitting the growth spurt is when like sneaker reselling really kind of became a thing. Like that's kind of like when StockX kind of came out. It was like kind of like starting to come out when people was really flipping shoes, like that whole like fresh out the store, they go on the eBay and they people outside trying to cash you out. So with some pairs that was hard, but a lot of pairs I was able to like sell and rebuy or trade and things like that. At my peak, I think I had like 280 something pairs of Kobe's, I think. Bro, I got this weird thing with doubling though too. Like I think I had 4 Bruce Lees at one time, personal pairs. I had like 3 Dark Knights, every Kobe. So Kobe, you probably gonna get to it. I ain't gonna answer the question. I'm not gonna say it because I think I know what you're gonna ask me. But I had like a lot of Kobe 4s and 5s. I had like 2 and 3 of. I had a lot. I had a lot of stuff. I had a lot of doubles and triples of certain Kobe's because they was. I was like, yo, like once the Kobe 4 came out and it was so good, and like no lie, like 3 shoes into the Kobe 5, I was like, yo, I don't know how if Nike's gonna be able to replicate how like this is really a run. And if like you're a Kobe fan or like if you witness or you're into sneakers, that Kobe like the Kobe 1, 2, and 3 are good. They were great. They were legendary. But like I don't know what a word is for above legendary because once you get into that 4, 5, 6 run, like that was really like a run that mirrored their three-peat when Shaq was there because it was like, yo, this is really like a legendary run. And I was like, yo, I don't know if Nike, and matter of fact, New Jersey wasn't really New York. So we got I think we got the 3rd ever House of Hoops. So we got a House of Hoops late. And where I was kind of like an hour away from a House of Hoops. So like I was still kind of far. So it was kind of hard coming across Kobe's. So when we started getting 5s and 5s was kind of was accessible and obtainable for me, bro, I was going crazy. And matter of fact, I was still driving like an hour and a half to House of Hoops to get these pairs. So I was like, if I'm going to drive up this pair and like these mean that much, I'm going to get 2 or 3. Where I had my nephews with me. I might have had my mom or my dad with me to make sure they wasn't on some 1 per customer. So like 3 shoes into the 5, I was getting like doubles, bro, triples. And once Bruce Lee, like I'm heavy in the martial arts. So once Bruce Lee came out, then I'm heavy in the Batman. I was like, I need 4 of these. And matter of fact, a lot of people I was doing copping Kobe's for people in Cali that was struggling, retail plus shipping. I was holding them down. So, but like at my peak, I think the last time I really counted, I think I had like 280, 290 Kobe's period the last time I counted. It's shorter now, but it's not too far. It's probably it's definitely over 100, probably like 150 or so, maybe more, which is still a lot though. Like people like I'm talking like dang, that's like it ain't that much, but that's still a lot. Like some people don't have 150 pairs of shoes, period. You know, some people don't have 50. So, and I'm not I'm about to get on here and talk cocky. So I probably like 150, something like that.
Yeah, I'm at well, I just got a pair, so I'm at 77 right now.
See, I mean, and that's still reasonable. And like, ain't nobody about to come test you because they know you're a legend in the game.
Nah, man. I mean, I appreciate that. I don't know, man. It just when I see stuff that you had and a lot of people in these comments, our group, the Kobe connection. I'm very glad to be in that. Some of the stuff that's out there, because my grails, my Kobe grails are probably the Asia home and away Kobe 3s.
Okay. Okay.
Kobe, between Kobe, KD, and LeBron, Kobe was probably the worst at, wearing shit like, oh, I know those are never coming out. You know what I mean? Like LeBron will wear some GRs, KD will wear some GRs. Kobe, it was like everything was a PE. Being a Lakers fan, it's like you know what I mean? So, whenever they would come out with something Laker colored, I would try to get it. You got to get the Del Sol, you got to get the Lakers away, you got to get the home, you got to get all of it. But my collection is pretty much in line. I only have a few, like I can go get it. Probably the rarest Kobe I have is the Westchester 2 Strength.
I love those. I love when you wear those though. I love when you bring those out.
Yeah, because that's really, everything else is just GR. But I'll be wanting stuff that he wore. You know what I mean?
Word. Because
Christmas shoes, especially, like I passed on the Christmas Kobe 9. I ended up getting it anyway, eventually.
Yeah.
But, since he was hurt, he didn't wear it. It's like it didn't matter to me. Like the first Christmas Kobe, second one, whatever. But another the 2K4 when they retroed. Remember they retroed them in 07 with the lasers.
Yeah.
I was only able to get one because they ended up getting like RTV'd, and I was gone for like a week.
Yeah.
I only was able to get the white and purple, but I still need the regular Lakers. I need the black and purple, but if I can find them, it's kind of like a risk. Like, is it going to separate? Are they going to be wearable?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so but when do you feel like Kobe was at his peak?
Kobe's peak.
Well, first him, then the shoes.
Huh?
First him, and then the shoes.
Individually, Kobe's peak, bro. I'ma say I'm gonna say 2009, 10, maybe.
Hmm,
I want
okay.
to. I'm gonna say nine. I'm gonna say nine. I'm gonna say nine. I want to say nine. That, like a lot of people love the 2010 championship over Boston because it was like redemption over Boston. My favorite one was '09. Like that was really like, in my opinion, one of his best offensive displays. Um, and the way he like what he was doing to Michael Petrus was just like, that was really like filthy. Like it was straight up nasty. Like Kobe was really like having his way. And even when you go to like him getting in the paint and that legendary in and out on Dwight Howard when he was in the air with the ball in between his hands, like that was my favorite championship in terms of like Kobe's offensive repertoire. I see Ed saying '07. I'm not mad at '07 either. I guess when you get into like sheer athletics, but I think skill wise and like offensive repertoire, I think I like '09, bro. '09. In terms of his sneaker, um, I'm gonna say the nine, bro. I think Fairley's the nine from a look standpoint. Performance, I'm gonna say like it never. He was always at his peak because performance wise, he's not gonna put something up that's not good. But I think like, oh, these look good and these perform good. I'm gonna say the nine. The 10 looked good, but it wasn't like a 10 out of 10. It probably was it was like an 8 out of 10. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible at all.
It was
But
a
like
decent.
straight like, yo, this is a 10 out of 10 and it performed 10 out of 10. I'm gonna say the nine. I'm gonna say I think the nine is fair. I think any Kobe fan is gonna take nine. But then he came back with the 11 and killed the game. Like the 11 looked good and it performed good too. So I mean, but he skipped through the 10. So I'm gonna say the nine. I think the nine was his peak. I think it's fair to say the nine was his peak. Somebody saying 8 through 9, but like eights were just straight beasts, bro. Eights are definitely one of my favorite models. And they were beasts on court. They looked great, but I think nine. I think he came back with nine, and nine was great too.
Yeah, I'm gonna say as far as him, I'm gonna say his absolute peak was a little bit before. I'm gonna say from an athletic standpoint, it's hard to go against that 05-06 season.
For sure, for sure.
Um, I mean, the 62 and three quarters, of course, the 81-point game, 35 points for
Yeah.
making Kwame Brown and Smush Parker and Chris Mim look a lot better. You
Word,
know, two of those three
word,
guys was right before, so I was up and close personal, you know what I'm saying, with
word.
those guys. But I will say though, and a lot of people might look at me crazy. I have 5 pairs of them, but I never was a huge fan of the Kobe one.
Okay.
And that was just because, well, it's because Eric Avar didn't design it. It was a Ken Link shoe. It looked like LeBron to me. It looked like a 225-5 with the cutout back. I like
Not
that he
mad.
said up,
Not mad at
but
that.
yeah, I really, again, I still bought it because I'm like, it's finally a Nike shoe with Kobe, his
Word.
name on it,
This is the word.
Yeah, but I just, to go from K5, for me, jumps right to the two.
Okay.
But
Okay.
what's your now, I got to ask, what's your favorite Kobe model?
My favorite is the Kobe 5. I think anybody that that really like talks to me or that's my favorite, bro. Um and it's too easy. That's the one. That's the Kobe that I have the most of, bro. And matter of fact, I think me and Mark was kind of like me and Mark have or had, I guess on my behalf, the most Kobe 5s. I think out of like anybody that I know, like I think me and Mark definitely had the most Kobe 5s, bro. I think at one time I think I had like, Mark probably knows count, but I know I definitely had like, probably man, especially around like 60, 70 or more pairs of just Kobe 5s alone. So when I tell you like
I
I
remember,
had 200 and something Kobe's, like majority of them were Kobe 5s, bro. Because I literally had like the first Kobe that dropped, was like I think the Aways dropped first, and then the Chaos dropped second. One of them, like I didn't only got one Away, so I don't like the Aways like that. The iridescent. I don't really like the Ways. They're cool, but they weren't my cup of tea. Chaos came out, I bought 3, and I think every Kobe after that, I think I didn't get under 2 pairs unless it wasn't really obtainable. Thanks. Chaos is dropped first, and then I think, matter of fact, Chaos is dropped first on Christmas Day, and then I think Aways dropped January 5th or January 8th. Thank you for the reminder, Ed. But yeah, I think every Kobe 5 except for the Aways, bro, I think I didn't have under 2 pair, bro. And they were like Chaos's, I think I had 3 pair. Bruce Lee's I had 4. Dark Knights I have 4. Lower Marions, which is see, there's some things I want to say. I'm like, he's probably gonna ask me that. Lower Marion 5s, the Aways, I legit had like 6 pair of. Cause so again, I'm from Pleasantville High School, and me and Kobe's high school are literally the same colorway. It's like the same colors, maroon and white and gray, pretty much, or silver, however you want to describe them. I had my high school and Kobe's high schools had these same exact colors, and I wish Kobe's dropped earlier during high school so I could have worn to school, but I had already graduated. But Lower Marions, I had like 5 or 6 pair. Big Stage Away and Home, I had 2 each. Also, everything I had 2 of, bro. 5 Rings I had 2 of. I'm trying to go down all the Kobe's that dropped in the 5. Breast cancers I think only had 1 of those. Some I'm not gonna front. Like, I'm not about to just say I had 2 of everyone. Aways and breast cancers, I think I only had 1 of. I think everything like outside of that, I had like 2 and 3 of, bro.
Yeah.
China's. Somebody's asking me how many Chinas I had. That's the one Kobe 5 I didn't get. I didn't really. I don't know why, but I didn't get them. I ended up loving them like kind of recently. I think Mark wore a pair and was like, oh, these are actually it. But I didn't like those Dukes. I was actually a Duke fan. I think this is when I was actually around when Duke was kind of going deep and or winning championships. I think I had like 2 or 3 of those. I'm trying to think. See, some people's like writing in the comments. I'm trying to answer them. But yeah, to answer that, my favorite is the Kobe 5. That's my favorite one.
Gotcha. Yeah, whenever I think of the Away, I always think of the because that was the year of the game winners. I mean, he had like at least 6.
Yeah.
The one in TD Garden over Ray Allen, he was wearing, the Aways, and I had just got them. So I felt like really good because they came out, like you said, in January, and that game, January 31st, 2010.
Yeah.
I remember I was like, man, the Lakers ain't going to win. And that was the way he shot it was so strange. It just went.
Yeah.
Like back, like.
Yeah.
So if he does something and it's a moment in the shoes, and especially if it's a GR, it's like when I put them on, usually on my Instagram, I'll post what's made me wear
that. But you do that with a lot of shoes, and that's one thing. Like everybody in here, from like Lewis to Ed to Mark to everybody that I'm seeing in these comments that I follow or I'm familiar with. A lot of people story tell different ways, and the way that I appreciate you, like I love when you post your magic clips. Like that really take me back, because like that ain't my era, but my dad, and I'm always telling him, I'm like, yo, he posts out like that really, like I'll sit there and stop whatever I'm doing and watch his stories. I'm like, if he posts one, he probably gonna post another one. So that's why I and you posted like the Converse. I love when you do that, bro. I love anything, or when the Lakers lose and you post your thing, like I'm like, all right, like he about to post this.
Yeah. I'm still a little hurt that we're not still playing, but
yeah, bro,
it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
But now I work for Converse, and I really wish there was some way I could get the weapon to come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Magic is my favorite player of all time. I mean, Kobe is right up there with it. Of course, Michael. Yeah. But I really wish that because my pair is remember how it was back in the day. Those were like a 2 for $89 shoe. Cats for $800. It's like, come on, man.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah, but that's a whole other tragic tale. Well, I know you from Jersey. Back in the day, where was your favorite place to cop sneakers back in the day? Like when you first got started?
when I first started shopping, I really my options were limited, bro. For various reasons. There were times where like I ain't like my parents or whoever they didn't have the money to like all right, we about to go buy you some shoes and we about to go far to go get it. Like a lot of my friends went to like would get money and go to like Philly or like get money and go to like New York. It was kind of like nah, like we got the money about to go to this local mall. So my options until like I really started making my own money was Foot Locker and a mom and pop store called Center City Sports. It was like a mom and pop skateboard shop, but they had gyms, and that's where I got a lot of basketball and Jordan shoes on they would have a clearance thing with people that didn't buy shoes, and that's where I got like LeBron 2s was on there, a lot of Kobe 1s was on there, a lot of Kobe 2s and 3s were, so like a lot of mom and pops, and pretty much Foot Locker held me down. And I'll say Foot Locker held me down until like where my immediate area was. It was really only me and like one other person like that was really like heavy sneakerheads. And I kind of got hired through copping through Foot Locker. They was like, yeah, you here every day. Don't you just work for us? And I was like, all right. And that's how I kind of got into Foot Locker. So those, and I see Lewis saying finish line. We ain't have a finish line in any of the malls near me until late. Like they put one in the Macy's, I think, but we ain't have a finish line. It was really just Foot Locker, Foot Action, Champs, and Mom and Pops. And matter of fact, the mall that was closest to me only had a Foot Locker in it.
Yeah, it was the same. We had a mom and pop that used to be in downtown Cleveland called Family Sportswear, and I got probably half of my Kobe's there for $40, the ones. The Sharks, the Minneapolis, just they didn't sell, so they made him cheap within the first like 4 months when he was still So, excuse me. Where's your favorite place to cop sneakers now?
Bro, that's such a wild question though in 2021 because it's like I'm honest, bro. The only place I really I don't really have a favorite place. It's kind of wherever I have the opportunity to cop them. Especially when it comes to Kobe's. If I don't hit it on the sneaker app and I don't hit it on undefeated raffles, it's looking kind of slow. I see somebody just comment where I haven't bought one off of stock. I haven't bought a Kobe off of StockX, but like you may have to, you know what I mean, get it off of StockX. But like for me, I have a lot of friends that are willing to help either because they don't buy Kobe's or they kind of like are on the way out of the sneaker game. So I'm like, yo, enter in the sneakers app for me, or fill this undefeated raffle, or fill this bait raffle. So I may come up like that, but like to be honest, the shopping experience is kind of dead for me. And to be honest, malls is kind of on a 1 foot out the door. And I think COVID is forcing their hand with the shopping experience. So like I think they halfway kind of transitioning to online anyway. So a lot of I can't remember the last time I was like, yo, I'm going sneaker shopping. I'm about to go sneaker hunting and see what I can find. Nah, it's kind of like, all right, I know these drop this date. I got my clock set for 9:58. Sneakers app do what it do. That's really the era that we in right now. When it was easily accessible, it was Foot Locker. I got a lot of loyalty to Foot Locker. To the point where like I guess because I worked there too, and like 7-8 times out of 10 you can kind of get your discount on it. To the point where like if it's a shoe in Foot Locker and it's a shoe in Finish Line, I'm gonna go to Foot Locker. Even if there's no discount involved, I'm probably still going to Foot Locker. It's kind of like we kind of conditioned, I guess, as Foot Locker employees. If it ain't Foot Locker, like it's kind of whoever got it, what's the bigger benefit? Like if like, oh, all right, like I'll go to Foot Action today because like I got a craving for Chick-fil-A. They got the Chick-fil-A, the price the same, like things like that. But like there's never like I'm not in the area really in Jersey where like there's a really a perk to go anywhere other than really Foot Locker. Like if Foot Locker got it in Foot Locker 10 minutes, I'm going to Foot Locker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the plethora of stores that some people have that like it's a lot of people here that live in Cali. There's a lot of people that were on this today that live in New York where they got options or they got plugs or they're familiar customers. For me, I kind of made my name and my rent and the rounds in my mall. So like they kind of know me off of that, or they're gonna hold me down because of that, or somebody through Foot Locker is gonna hold me down because I've been working for them for 14 years. So really kind of Foot Locker, you know what I mean? Online outside of like Foot Locker, Nike.com, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm really basic, and I haven't had luck with online like, yo, it's midnight. Remember they used to do midnight release. I haven't been lucky online since they were midnight release. That's the last time we're like with midnight releases. I don't think I've ever lost it. I don't think I've ever missed. I never got an L on the shoe when they were midnight releases. I don't think.
Yeah, I think because I want to say it was either the 2011 Concord or the Galaxy Foamposite where they ended the midnight. I think.
Yeah, bro, that move. And matter of fact, I even go on the stretch when I was allowed to camp out, bro. I never missed the shoe. Like in my mind, bro, like, and this is so weird. I talk to like some people that like are in the shoes a lot. Like I would never allow somebody to like out camp me. Like you're not about to, because I got too many big camp outs under my belt. I didn't camp for Kobe's in Harlem for 7 days when I'm from New Jersey. I didn't camp for Galaxy Foams in Cherry Hill for like 7-8 days. You know what I mean? I didn't did multiple 2-day camp. Like you're not about to like I'm not gonna let a shoe, me and you come between a shoe, like, because I can't stay outside for a couple hours or a day. Like, nah. So really, the struggle came from me when I couldn't camp out for shoes, when I couldn't determine my own destiny. So now my fate is in me entering a draw, me entering a raffle. Like, these are things that deter me and, you know, hinder me from getting sneakers. But when it was like, all right, you just kind of got to get off work, get a chair and sit outside or be in your car for a couple hours. Like, when that was it, like there was no shoe that I couldn't get. Like I don't think I've never not got a shoe because like I camped out too late, or like I couldn't camp out. Like, so now I'm stuck where like this is the era where like OG sneakerheads are struggling. So like the Lewis's, the Wills, like the people that are like super like, especially these Lewis is from Cali and Will's from DMX. He's from New York. Like these are areas where like it's like everybody in their city likes sneakers and they kind of got to go camp out. So like now like people like us, and this is an example, this is not everybody, but he's like, this online thing ain't it no more. Like this app thing ain't it. Like I kind of need to be in line somewhere. Like whether I got to be there the night before, I got to be there early and get like this is the struggle. So this is me hitting like the young bucks kind of like, this is kind of like the changing of the guard. Like the young bucks kind of older because they got bots or they know friends that got bots or things like that. Where like, bro, I'm used to like, all right, I'm off work. I'm like, it's Friday night. Like, all right, the shoes come out tomorrow. Like I'm off work. I'm on the highway heading to Cherry Hill to go camp out for these shoes. I got my camping chair. I got some water. I got some snacks. I got some.
Yeah. Oh, I think I lost you, bro. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Oh, can you hear me? I can't hear you. Mm.
All right,
Oh,
can you hear me now?
yeah, I can hear you.
All right, I apologize. But yeah, long story short, I can't. This is a young man's game, and like I have no loyalty to no stores. However, I can get it, man. Long story short, I wish I can camp out.
Got you. Now, what would you say influences your sneaker purchasing habits the most?
Uh, I think just if it's a retro or something that like I had when I was like, or I didn't have when I was younger, or something like, yeah, I missed out on those, or that was my old size, things like that. In terms of like new models, like a new model that I actually like is the GT Cut. That's the basketball shoe that Sabrina and Swiper the Fox is like kind of like endorsing the front man for. I bought that one. The one that came out today, I bought that one. I like the look. I'm hearing nice things about it. They look super good. I kind of just want to test them. To be honest, bro, like I haven't played basketball in so long, and like I was kind of like, yo, I may not play. Like when Kobe passed, I was like, I may not ever touch a basketball again. Like I kind of just kind of in that mood. Like I don't even want to play basketball ever again in my life. Like the game is kind of dead for me. You know what I'm saying? But I
Absolutely.
saw these and I was like, maybe I should see what these is hitting for on the court. You know what I'm saying? So I got those today. I had like 2 gift cards, but burned a hole in my pocket, and I grabbed them. Other than that, like something that's like childhood memory, like when they do like certain retros for like, yo, this is the first retro ever, or the first time they retro this colorway, things like that usually kind of get me, because it's like, yo, I just need to add these to the collection. I'm almost done. Like there's a bunch of memes that's like, yo, they done Jordan retros the same such and such over and over. I'm really kind of sincerely waiting for that day that I can cross every colorway off the list and kind of can be like, yo, I'm kind of close to hanging this, not having to be obligated to complete, or you know what I mean, things like that. So I'm waiting for that. But using nostalgia, a colorway, a story, get me, things like that. Like if they do something Aaron Magden themed, I'm gonna usually get it. They do something Bruce Lee themed, I'm gonna 9 times out of 10 be in line for it. Things like that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, you just told me your most recent cop. What's the shoe that you have that you really need to unds? Like, I really need to wear these, but I just haven't got to it yet.
Bro, oh man, that's a good question. What's your shoe that Bro, I'm gonna be honest. Let me see. That's a hard one, for real, for real. All right, I got one. My grill that was on the sneakers app, that he got games, like that's my grill. Every time it drops, I cop like 2 or 3 of them. But that's my grill, and like I only like half wore it one time ever. On my birthday, I was supposed to wear it like a couple years back for the first time ever, and I kind of put them on, and then I think we went somewhere and like it might have rained, or I kind of had to take them off, and I didn't put. Like I kind of half wore them. So if I can kind of like go and like beat up a pair, like really like do some dirt in them, and I kind of got like I probably got like 6 pairs of them. So like if that's a pair like I would want to probably wear. Kobe wise, what's the Kobe that I have unds that I didn't wear? That's a good question, to be honest. Probably 81s. Probably 81s. I ain't wear 81s yet. That Pro Trail, I ain't wear them yet. Probably 81s. Or one of those 81s, or probably I have the Devin Booker the orange camo ones. Probably one of those two.
Ooh, with the
Yeah,
one on the
one of those. Huh?
it has the number 1 on the side, right?
It may. I don't know. I can't remember that one. Somebody in the comments can tell you. I don't remember. I do have them though.
I got
So
you.
one of those two. 81s are the Bookers probably.
Yeah, the white, black, and red 13 is special to me too, because this is the first Jordan I ever bought with my own money.
Yeah.
That came out November 1st of '97. I was in 11th grade, and I had my first little job. I was a sales associate at TJ Maxx.
Yeah.
I was like $150. That was the first Jordan. That was $150, and it's
Word.
just. But I was like, I had to have them. I was like, I have to have these for school on Monday. Niggas got to know. So
word. Straight up, they gotta know. Word.
yeah, but I got you. It's a few. We went to Memphis because I wanted to go to the Nike employee store, and that's when I undestocked my Bruce Lee Pro Tros. Those are the only Pro Tros I own. I wasn't able to get any of the wanted. I do kind of regret. We were still living in Ohio, like early 19. They had pretty much all of the Pro Tros at the Nike outlet in Columbus, but they were still kind of high. Like they were like 140, and I'm like, you know what I mean? Like that's not really much of a sale.
Yeah.
Nope. All Kobe's other than people like us anyway. So maybe for 100, I may mess with them, but I kind of regret not buying the 81s or the closing seconds, because I didn't realize until after the one that he hit the game winner against Phoenix in, and I was like, damn, that was that one. So definitely regret those two. Just like if I could go back in time when I was working at Foot Locker when we had we got a size run of the Kobe 3 MVP. And that's another one. It's up there with, like, I really regret not.
Yeah.
But they were only in the store for like a week and they were gone. Like, I don't even think they got sent somewhere else.
Yeah.
And really, the soft leather, just the white and black one too. Like, I really regret not getting those.
Yep.
And I've never been able to find the All-Star Kobe 3 for cheap.
Bro, I done had so many. I had like 2 of those, bro. I don't even. I think the last size I had was when I had a 10, and I don't think I got that size 10 no more. So I was already cutting it close when I had a size 10, and now I definitely can't wear them. I had to cut the back, so they have to be bedroom slippers now if I even still have them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like the one thing, because like my one dude in the comments, KABJR 824. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I'm trying to read. He was saying he was glad that Kobe's, were ending too, and I still was hoping to get some Pro Tro 2s or 3s because I would buy those, full price. I wouldn't wait.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I was waiting for those. I was waiting for those too, but like Nike just moving kind of nasty, bro. Like I just don't think it's a tall order to just be like, yo, let's just make them so everybody can so the vast majority. And like, they're only the reason that they're going like this is because he's no longer here. So everybody's cashing out on death, which is like, come on, bro. Like, how, that's so trashy to me. But that, and then because they're limited. So everything limited resells. And when you add the fact that he's no longer here with us. So you're trying to profit. You're really trying to pull at the wallet and the heartstrings of true collectors of his. You know what I'm saying? So why you just can't make more units so the people that really want them and you can deter resellers from, I mean, it doesn't, logically from $1 billion company, it just doesn't seem like this is some tall order. We're just asking for too much.
Now, I have to say this in a way where I don't jeopardize my employment, but I'm going to say this. I don't really feel like, as silly as it's going to sound, I don't really feel like Nike cares about Nike basketball.
I don't think they do, and I don't think they have for a long time. What I will say is I'll be able to tell the tale more when I get them in. But I do think that they may have something with these GT cuts to the fact where I was going to try to wait later on in things. If you know somebody that has swoosh, sometimes when the shoes come up at 10, they're not discounted, but sometimes towards 12, 1 o'clock p.m., they may be discounted. So I was like, I'll maybe wait later in the day. Maybe somebody can hold me down, or maybe I can add a coupon or something. When I went to go add my 13, it was just a few left. And I'm like, oh, I ain't see that on the Nike basketball shoe in a while. Just a few left. And it was Lily, bro. Lily was 10:30. So I'm 30 minutes in, you only got a few left. So they putting a lot of marketing behind this and it's getting a lot of popularity. But that's another thing that Nike went away from. They stopped doing commercials. They stopped all the marketing in the build. Remember every Kobe ankle insurance commercials, the commercials, the Kobe system with all the celebrities, they were kind of straight away from that. Was that bread and butter? You know what I'm saying? And everything's going digital. So why not make these skippable ads on YouTube or on the Nike app? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or make it so you have to watch these on the app in order to get exclusive. There's so many things. If Nike came and was yo, come to Portland, come to the table and bounce these ideas. There's so many ideas that I have, or so many that my friends have that you could really do this. You can have Kobe trivia before you get access on the app. You don't have to watch the scratch thing. It's so many ways you can go about it. But all in all, I just don't believe. And some people that are Kobe fans, or people that are just Nike purists, they'll tell you oh, well, all Kobe's went on clearance. But it's bro, I go on Nike outlets and I see LeBron's, I see Kyrie's, I see every KD and Kyrie, pretty much all three of them. Some colorway goes on clearance, bro. I work for, I'm employed by Foot Locker. They all go on sale.
Yeah, PG's more than anything.
Bro, you literally got PG. Bro, let me tell you something. And ain't none of them on this live, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. The last, this is a joke, so people can get a kick out of this. The last 2 Christmases, my father-in-law and my two brother-in-laws get PGs for Christmas because after the 50, you know, there's always a 50 around surrounding Christmas.
Always a 50 at Christmas.
I'm coming out. All three got pairs, bro, for like $50. Like I literally walked out. I paid $50 and got 3 pairs, type of thing. You know what I mean? So like, and they don't know the difference. They think, oh, I got Paul George's shoe that cost $100-something. They don't know I paid $23 or $20 a piece for them joints. You know what I'm saying? So like, I get my godson and like his friend Kyrie's on 50s, bro. And after the sales, bro, I'll be paying like $30 for him. Matter of fact, I got my wife's shoes just to kick around and run errands with some Kyrie's for like $5. I got Giannis's for $11, bro.
Oh yeah.
So like it's not a tall order when you're making all these signature shoes, and when you're making like when you're making orange, blue, yellow, and purple Air Force Ones, all that colorway on one shoe, like you're making all these wild colorways. How is it a tall order for you to just make more coats? But this is what Nike feeds into. That's the machine. They want that exclusivity is what they run off of, bro. Like that's been their bread and butter for a while. I mean, I respect it, but I think some things it's like, yo, this is Kobe. Like he held y'all down for very long, and he's no longer here. Why you can't let him go out the right way? And like, why he don't got a lifetime deal?
Yeah.
Like I don't that part I don't get. Like, how come he don't have a lifetime deal? Like why? Like I think these things that Vanessa's fighting for are things that should have already kind of been given. Like these are things that should be already been done, not having to fight for.
Yeah. I really feel like, because I've said this on the show before, I really feel like even before he passed, before the Protro thing, I really don't think they knew what to do with his line.
Yeah.
I think they knew what to do. But talking about those 50s, I mean, the last 50 I got to participate in was the one that was July of last year, because my last day this last time with Foot Locker was July 31st, right before we moved down here.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know if you remember, it was like 2 different 50s. Remember, it was like one earlier in the month, and then it was one at the end of the month.
I remember that.
So that was the last one that I was in. It's just, it's hard not to buy stuff. And I mean, at Christmas, when they always give us more money to spend with, that go up to 1,000. You know, that Christmas one is epic, and I always just go to the outlets. You know, at Cleveland.
Yeah.
2 Champs outlets, one on the east side, one on the west side. So you know, you living in there. You know.
Yeah, big time.
But yeah, having a Swoosh account now, I don't buy anything. I can't buy something full price. Like, all right, sneakers thing doesn't work. Looks like you went some on sneakers, just regular, but I will wait you out. You know, even with that, just a few left shit to try to scare you.
See, I don't know if they be biased. I don't know if they be like, bro, I want to get these. I think I'm going to get these. Because I got some Indiana Pacer Mitchell Neshers I think I want to get those with. Are those like that? Like, I'm literally trying to get those in the Keep Sue Fresh Kyrie's. I kind of want them to.
Yeah. What I was going to say is, these were on Nike.com, you know, on there for like a month before they even let us use the discount on them. Yeah. And normally at Air Maxes I get a 12, but they sold out of the 12. I waited, and I was like, all right, I'll just, you know, now that they put it, you know, where we can get our discount, you know, got the 11.5, and now there are 12s on there again.
Yeah, I said they straight restocked them, yeah. Because the 13 was going, I was like, all right, it ain't meant to be. But I saw them up there. Let me try to grab them.
Yeah, but yeah, man, it's the way the game is crazy. You have a shoe that you won't undead stock?
A shoe that I won't. Rice Kobe wise, right? Rice Kobe ones, the Zoom Kobe one, Rice PE. I'll never wear that. And I think it's because like. Well, one, it actually forced my hand because I think that was my old shoe size, I believe I'm not mistaken. So I definitely can't wear it anymore. But if I could, that was my first ever PE. So it's like, nah, I'm keeping that. Like, it's saran wrapped and in a Ziploc bag. It lives in my closet. It only comes out when I travel if I'm going somewhere to showcase it. I've been to like DMX God's. He had a couple like sneaker shows. I've been there. I took those before. Me and Hyper Dunks went, and that's probably it, bro.
Gotcha. And what's the shoe that everyone seems to love that you just don't fuck with?
That's a good one, bro. Dang, what's the shoe that everybody loves? I don't like. That's a good one, bro. That's a real good one. That's a good. It's two shoes. They're both LeBrons. One I actually like. One I actually like. I'm okay with. Oh, well, somebody just said. I think every Yeezy I don't like any of the. I had the zebras. I had two zebras actually, and my wife had a 30th birthday party, and I put them on, and in the house, and I was like, nah, I can't do this, and I sold them both immediately. I don't like any of the Adidas Yeezys. But like Nike, I mean, this is pretty much Nike. The LeBron 6, I like the shoe, but I think colorways saved the shoe. Like Big Apples, Big Apples, Christ the Kings, SBSMs. I had those. I didn't have Big Apples. Chalks, like colorways saved those. The LeBron 11 people like, and I don't think that was. I think his last good shoe was the 10.
That's fair.
Another conversation. Huh?
No love for the 15?
Nah. Another conversation I think that people need to have. Another conversation that people need to have. And I don't want to overrun the show with LeBron talk.
No, it's cool, man.
Especially because I'm not a fan of his. But I think we need to have a conversation of he's about to be 19 shoes in, and like he got a lot of duds in his collection. Like he got a lot. Like, and the crazy thing is he really started off like non-bias alone, like me not liking him. He actually has some like semi like legend. He has some great shoes. Like the 1 was good, the 2 I love, the 3 I love, the 4 was good to great. Colorways brought it up another level. 5s is probably the worst signature shoe probably of any signature shoe of any signature athlete on Nike. Like this 5. When I call people ugly, I say, yeah, you look like an unstrapped LeBron 5. The 6, I think colorway saved. They were nice. 7s were legendary. 8s were legendary. 9s were good to great. I think colorways helped them in a major way. I like 9.
The 9 wasn't that good of a shoe to me, but the colorways were so great.
That's not, like, you know what I'm saying? Like China's was Cannons on those.
Cannons.
That Yeezy black joint.
Free gums. I mean.
Whatever anybody says about the 9, I can agree with. Whether you say it's good, it was great. Colorways definitely played a part in whatever you would say it was.
Mm-hmm.
The 10s is where I exited LeBron's. I was like, nah, I bought Jades, and I was like, nah, I don't think I'm doing LeBron's no more. That was the last LeBron, I think. Well, that was the last one I bought in a while. Then I bought a couple since he's been with the Lakers. But like 11s, I didn't like. 12s, a lot of them I didn't like. And once you go past 11, there's a lot of ones he didn't even wear. We had to kind of switch back. And like, even this season, he hurt his ankle, but like he kind of had to switch out of them. So like, I think he was on a legendary run, and then it's kind of like, you got a couple duds, bro. What we doing?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going through each LeBron, I fucked with the 1. I love the 2. Love the 3.
Love the 2. I'm literally waiting for him to retro the 2 so I can go nuts.
Can't wait.
And like they're going to be available. Every LeBron's been available. Like even South Beaches are pretty much available. Miami Nights. So like once they get the 2s, bro, I will have no money.
Yeah, I mean it's only 3 GR, colors that weren't limited.
Yeah.
But I love the 4. It's a little heavy, but it's phone posit. So as much as I dislike the 5, I still have 7 of them. That's just the clear in me.
Yeah.
The 6, the shoe feels great. It feels great with that double stack zoom, but it just looks like, you remember how they had that Air Force 1 that was like, it was from 98 that you could like play in. It was like an updated Air Force 1. It just looked like updated.
Yeah, bro. They're awful, bro. They almost that meeting the sneaker boot like that. I had a couple too, but I can't put them on the side of good, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, the 7, 8, great. The 9 was a solid B, but the colorways made it an A. The 10 is my
Yeah.
favorite LeBron. I've got 19 colorways of the
Wow, I'm not mad at that.
10. 2 of them are IDs. I mean, I missed that you
Okay.
can't ID the signature LeBrons, but you know.
Yeah.
I love the 11 Elites, but you know, the regular 11s
Mm-hmm.
was one of the first shoes probably since the Jordan 23 that I bought.
Mm-hmm.
I had to buy it too big in order to wear it casual.
Yeah.
I bought a lot of 12s just because I also had back on the cabs.
And I think 12s was the most. You know what? I don't think I ever pieced that together like hindsight wise. Because what I'm about to say, I guess now that you said what you said makes sense. I think the 12s was his most commercial, the most retail success. Because I remember being in Foot Locker and like they wasn't staying on shelves, bro. Like
Yeah.
that was a shoe where like if you came in like at like 10:30, there was either like an 8, either something too small. It was only like 2 sizes left, like an 8 and an 11. It was 2 random sizes left.
Yeah.
Everything else was bought up. Everything else was bought up on every, like literally they were all in our end zone at one point. Like they was just all like one pair each. I mean, you hear me saying the lingo,
Yeah,
like end zone. Like, there was only like 1 or 2 sizes left of like every colorway.
One of my favorite things to do in any of my to see Champs and Foot Action, because I worked there too. Like they didn't have end zones, just Foot Locker. But I would love to go when I would work at like other Foot Lockers and look at their end zone. And I'm like, hey, get out. Let me get this.
Yeah.
Let me get that,
bro.
Like,
I'll be in every end zone. As a matter of fact, now we got scanners, so I'm gonna scan it to see what the price is and see if I can come up. Yeah, bro, that's the thing.
Like our Foot Locker was closed last year, longer than the pandemic because the mall we were in, it was already dead, but like shit was caving in. It was I was working at Foot Lockers in Akron,
Okay.
and just different ones in Cleveland all last summer, and I was just going through end zone, anything. Like I was buying mids, just, and I don't have no mid hate. You know, I got to ask you about that too. But I remember I bought some all black mids because they were $30. I'm like, fuck it, it might rain one day, and I might want to wear a Jordan 1.
You know what I'm saying?
You know,
I don't have no hate against. We tease we got a friend named Gilbert. Shout out to Gilbert. I don't think he's on this, but he loves mids. I don't have a hate. I mean, especially when you dig deep into historically, Jordan, his PEs are mids. So a majority of Jordan's PEs are mid cut rather. So I'm not mad at them. I dabble in them? I don't. I prefer the high.
I didn't think.
But I'm not knocking them. I'm not really. I guess I do kind of twist my face up at them, but I don't really like. I'm not like dismissing like, yo, you got mids and you can't come outside with me. Like we can't go together. Like we can't go to the park or go play games if you got mids. I'm not that bad, but they are running joke. But I mean, I don't have no ill will towards them. I mean, they all Jordan at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And he warms. So like if anything, they got a little bit more respect than they deserve than they're getting because that's the one he preferred.
Yeah.
So who am I?
Yeah. I mean, oh man, yeah, the shoe game is something else. How does your family feel about your relationship with sneakers?
Bro, I'm gonna be honest, bro. So I guess there's levels to it. When I was a kid, this is I like to tell stories, bro, with sneakers. Sneakers are really like, when I tell you like sneakers are really like an extension, not even an extension of my life. Like sneakers really are my life to the point where like even in high school or like post high school, when I describe a person, like I really just like, so some people are like, yo, you know Chris, and they're like, Chris, like Chris brothers. I'd be like, nah, you know Chris that be wearing the LeBron 6s, the all blacks. Like I just try a person by their sneakers. Or like if we gotta go back to a time, I kind of revolve it around when the sneaker. I'm like, yo, you remember when we went to the park? And they're like, I ain't go to the park that day. I'm like, yeah, because remember I had just left from grabbing the Kobe 6s. Like everything I do time wise or time kind of, I always gotta translate it to remind people about a sneaker. But to answer the question, when I was living with my parents and I was collecting sneakers, they didn't really understand it. They didn't like it to the point where, matter of fact, I tell this story a lot. my dad, at one point, my dad was like, yo, you better not bring another pair of sneakers in this house. And like, this is where like the passion kind of was like, the light was just like burning. It just started burning. He was like, you don't ever bring another pair of sneakers in this house. And I wasn't driving. I was relying on them to take me places. I was working at McDonald's. So this is what I would do. I would catch a cab to the mall or a bus to the mall. I would go get my sneakers. On the way back, it was the McDonald's I worked at. I would go get them hotcakes and sausage and coffee with my sneakers. I would walk back home. I would throw the shoes on my roof, walk in the house like, yo, I got y'all hotcakes and sausages and coffee. While they eating, I would go through my bedroom window, climb the roof, grab the sneakers, and put them in my pile, and they never do the difference. So I had to do that. I had to trick them. Bro, listen, I done bought so many hotcakes and sausages, so many consecutive Saturdays. And you talking about, this is the era when Foot Locker had exclusive drops. This is when Foot Action had their lifestyle drops. So, bro, you talking about over a year full of Saturdays and hotcakes and sausages and coffees. So that was a budget. That was a budget in itself, and I was broke.
Oh,
but in 2009, 2010, around the Kobe 5, Kobe 6, this is when somebody mysteriously called a press, the press of my city, the Atlantic City press, and they said, yo, it's this guy named Daryl Glover. He got a bunch of sneakers. Y'all should do an article. And this reporter did his homework. He ended up finding my mom's number. And I'm driving from work one day from Foot Locker, and she's like, yo, like the press just called. I'm like, what happened? Like, did somebody pass away? Like, what's going on? They're like, nah, they said they heard about your sneaker collection. They want to kind of do a feature on you. And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, they want to come. So he got the number. This dude did his research. So guy called me. They like, yo, we got a photographer. Want to come to the house, blah, blah, blah. Got the house. I got my room straightened up. My boxes straightened up. And they came and did, long story short, they did an article. Then after the article came, like the next day, the popular radio station in town saw the article and wanted me to be on the radio. So at this point, I'm like 22. I'm like 22 at this time. So like in my city, in my township, in my county, I'm kind of known at this point. I was already kind of known like locally in my city and the neighboring cities, but like it's in the press and like the whole county sees this, and then the radio picked me up. So then my parents kind of say like, oh, this is something like, oh, like you can't, like, can a career come? Then I kind of got a career out of it. You know what I'm saying? So like both my parents passed away like within like the last calendar year. Both my parents passed away, but they got to see like, oh, like my son, like this ain't just something he just burned his money on. Like he been in magazines, he been in the paper, he been on the radio, he been on online articles, like he's made a name through this thing. So like they kind of lightened up. In terms of my love life, I've never had an issue. Like I've never had an issue. Like some of my best friends or my close friends, like girlfriends, is like, nah, I got friends that don't collect no more because of it, trying to salvage like a marriage or a relationship or like different. I got a bunch of them. But and no girlfriends never gave me flack for it. My wife don't give me zero flack, to the point where like there'll be some shoes where I'm kind of like, nah, I'm kind of good off these. And my wife would be like, nah, you better go get this, because like I don't want to hear your mouth where like you don't, like a year later where you bad, you ain't get them and everybody got them type of thing. Like one shoe was the the Kobe phenomenon. That one and one of the Kobe 9s. I was like, nah, I'm kind of good. And my wife was like, nah, you better go get those. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get them. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes she hit me like, yo, like you got to get me these. Like my wife got a sneaker collection. I'm gonna be honest, my wife probably got a better collection than some dudes out there. My wife got like a strong like 120 sneakers types. Like she got pennies, she got J's, she got all that. But somebody just said to speak on my most recent interview with Complex. I was on So for people that don't know, I've been on Complex before. When Kobe retired, they reached out to me and they needed me to bring like every shoe. My wife's a rider because she's involved in the store too. They needed me to bring like every Kobe model ever and bring it to their studios to take pictures and to like do this whole like report on Kobe sneakers through the years for his retirement. Shout out to Mark, who is actually on this live right now, because he helped me with a couple pairs on that too. I brought every pair to the show and I was missing one. I was like, yo, baby, missing one. They kind of need it. She got in the car and drove from New Jersey to New York in the middle of like the heart of New York, and brought me that one pair I was missing so we can get the thing like to a T. So that's the type of time that she on. So I helped them with that before, but this time they wanted me to get my insight. Because I've been, in the beginning of this Kobe drama, like not enough pairs being around, and like I've been a little vocal with my upsetness to not being able to get pairs, my friends not being able to get pairs. And I guess they picked a couple people from Complex, a couple people from Nike actually followed me. So they saw, Complex saw that and was like, yo, can we get a couple quotes from you? Can we get your insight? And pretty much, I guess, like, you know, not what you're doing, but like kind of just want to in the mind behind what I think type of thing. So they reached out. I gave them a couple quotes. I spoke to them a couple times, and the article kind of came to life. And then for people that know, I was on the sneakers app too, but it wasn't Kobe based. It was Jordan based. So yeah, that's how the Complex thing came along.
Nice. Yeah, it's always good, you know, when your significant other understands the.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate that, you know, my wife. I don't really think she got it like in the early days, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of like my wife has a better collection than most, you know.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, wow, you know, she let me know about stuff. She'd be like, see, you don't keep
Yeah,
your ears straight, you know.
Word. But like, bro, to be honest, like stepping outside of myself, this sneaker thing is different. Like, I've really kind of been sitting down all of my video, but I'm gonna show the people that are still online. I wish I did it when I was at my peak, but like, we bought a house, and I'm gonna be honest, we kind of bought the house kind of like not having an extra room for sneakers was really a deal breaker on buying a house. Like buying a house is probably one of the biggest things you can do in your life aside from getting married and having kids. And we was kind of going in houses like, that's not big enough for my shoes. And we was kind of walking away from good houses. So like, this is my sneaker room for people that don't, if you don't follow me or you don't know, this is kind of like my sneaker room. Like these are my Jordan 1s. These are kind of like some of my my Jordan like 2 through whatever. There's some 18s here, Travis Scott's. This is kind of new purchases, is dunks and stuff. Jordans, Unions, Hawaii's. This is really like Nike basketball. This is all Paul George's stuff. Some dunks here, Nike sportswear. It's more back, as you see, it's more back there. This is some Kobe stuff back there. These sneakers all in here. Like that's the Kobe pack right there, the original Kobe pack, the Hyper Dunk and the Kobe 5. The DMP pack, the first Jordan pack is right under there. All my PEs and Ziplocs is like right under there. Like this is a whole room. Like ain't nothing in here but sneakers. I mean, like this is the door. It's shoes all here. It's layers of shoes all behind here. Like if I go right here, it's shoes. It's a wall of shoes all back there behind it. Like I'm in my sneaker room. You know what I'm saying? So like, this is not normal. Like this is really not normal. This is something that like happened to be a passion since I was 12 years old, and I happen to never really slow down. But like stepping outside myself to answer the question, this is not normal. Like it's not normal for like, let alone a male. Like women have multiple. Like it's not normal for a man to have over 1,000 pairs of sneakers. That's not like normal people don't do that.
Man, it's like when you get older, because I've told people, I'm like, yeah, it's no reason for me to have upper hundreds or 1,000 shoes. Some days I'm surprised that all of this shit is even mine. But it's lifestyle. I mean, you know better, you know, than anyone. It's definitely a lifestyle. Well, what direction do you see your collection going in the future?
I don't know, bro. And like to kind of build off what I said, like once you get this deep, and if anybody is on here still, like that's in the sneakers, and like you like, yo, I want to grow my collection, or I want to have a collection. Tread lightly, because it kind of get real crazy to where after a while you kind of don't even have a control over your thoughts to like very strange. Like we kind of I've been in my house a little over a year, Chris. And like me and my wife really have conversations like, yo, it's time to kind of get a new house. And it ain't cause nothing else, but like, yo, we kind of I'm really outgrowing the sneaker room. Like yeah. This is my bare floor right here, bro. Like this is the wall. This is my bare foot, and then like sneakers meet me right here. Like this is the only empty space I really got. And the closet in our bedroom has her sneakers in them. So we really kind of like, we got to get another house because we need a bigger sneaker room.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Frankly, how stupid does that sound? Like that I'm really about to possibly try to get another house at some point to house more sneakers. And it's sometimes it gets in the way. Sometimes they be like the stacks of sneakers be falling, or like you want one particular shoe. Like let's say like I gotta be somewhere at 2:30 tonight, or I gotta be at the house at 2:00. 1:55, I'm still trying to maneuver pairs to get to this one pair. I know where it's at, but like I gotta move every stack to get like that. Kind of get overwhelming at points when I kind of get like it really hit me like, yo, you're really bugging for this. Somebody saying that's what my storage unit's for. I got a storage unit. Like, this is not all. This don't house all my. I still got a storage unit. So like, this is some strange stuff, bro.
Oh, yeah. Mine is spilled into my garage. Like I'm gonna just show y'all right quick. Like all of my shoes that don't have boxes. Yeah.
Oh damn. See, it's like come on, like see, bro.
Yeah. I don't even park on my side of the garage.
Oh, bro, yeah.
Sneakers.
This is wild. See, like, all right, see, oh man, that's nuts.
Yeah,
but you can feel it though. You feel where I'm coming from, and
my wife and I have had those talks.
But to be honest, bro, the end of the question, like I love like sneakers are really my passion, bro. Like outside of my family, like this is what I love, bro. And like I said, my parents passed away this past year. It's really just my wife and my daughter, my two sisters. So I never really had a huge family. So like outside of my family, bro, this is my passion. This is my love. You know what I'm saying? Where I see my collection going, further than this. I mean, I still want to buy whatever I can buy. I definitely feel like I'm definitely feeling like I'm the Vince Carter in the game where like I kind of can't keep up to where like it's really discouraging. Like how many raffles I got to fill out per day to get this shoe for y'all to keep emailing me that I didn't get picked. You know what I'm saying? How many, like just to put things into perspective, I want to say I asked like 11 friends of mine today to enter for the Del Sol Kobe's today, plus myself. You're talking about 12 entries and nobody hit. So like that's to put things into perspective. So how many times am I going to do that and keep getting L's until it's like, all right, enough is enough? But like, as long as Nike keeps the shoes obtainable, and it's to the point where like Foot Locker kind of got on board with this exclusivity thing to where like as an employee, it's a struggle. And like, I'm only part-time. So like, they don't treat part-time as too crazy this, like in this era. So it's really definitely, it's a struggle on all ends to get these shoes. So like, I'm going to get them as long as they're obtainable, but I'm definitely feeling like, yo, I'm the 20-year-old vet in the game. I don't have my friends is professionals, or they kind of trying to become professionals and start families or, maintain their families. They ain't got no bot, or they don't got $1,000 to put chip in to go get a bot, or they don't got no, all the plugs is kind of like, all the plugs kind of got fired from Foot Locker or from Nike or from Bait or from all the plugs either got fired or they got promoted to where they kind of can't help you out no more. So, and like, like somebody said, sneakers app is impossible. So as long as they are obtainable, I would like to buy sneakers. Like I always envision myself as that 60, 70-year-old dude that walk in Foot Locker with some old heat to buy some new heat and put the old heat in the box and walk up with the new heat. I feel like strangely enough, you know what I'm saying? So, and strangely enough, bro, when I first started collecting sneakers, I was born. I'm born in '88, so I'm 32. So I grew up through like Pokemon. Like Pokemon was like heavy when I was like a kid. And I really, and I had Pokemon and sneakers hand in hand, I was really on some catch 'em all thing. But you got to remember, I'm from a small city. I'm from New Jersey, and I thought realistically I could get every sneaker ever. But like once technology, and we have computers, so once computers and everything got involved, I was like, oh nah, getting every sneaker is definitely impossible. But I definitely want to keep growing my collection for sure. I definitely want to keep buying. I want to grow it as big as possible. Like I want to like, and thanks to you, I definitely want to say thank you again for having me on this, to have a platform. Because for a while outside like the newspaper and complex, people like me don't have a platform, and there are people outside of me that need a platform. Like, for people that don't, my friend Mark, my friend Wayne, Lewis is on here, DMX, my friend DMX guy was on, and like these people need a platform to show their collection, because I'm like, a lot of love has been shown my way, and I'm super thankful. And I do put the work in. I mean, I put the work in. So it definitely comes back to me, and I put a lot of positive energy, and I definitely have a lot of good sneaker karma, because when I was at my peak and I could help people, I definitely helped people a lot. So it's definitely coming back my way. And Lewis too. I see Lewis. I'm sorry. But I think a lot of people should be telling their stories, not just me. I have gotten a lot of love, and I'm extremely thankful. But I am in this role right now where I'm getting a lot of attention, and I'm getting a lot of opportunities, and I'm extremely, extremely grateful. Like, somebody wants to do a podcast with me, the Sneakers app, Complex. So God is really good, and like I'm always acknowledge God, because I am religious. I'm always acknowledge God, because like I'm this small kid from like nobody knew who I was. You know what I mean? Like only select few knew me over these sneakers. And like now a lot of people are knowing, like, are asking me my opinion on it. So like I definitely want to grow as that figure and have a name in the game. And this was always like I'm in the medical field, and I've always been in the medical field. That's what I went to school for. But I was like, yo, if I can make this a career, I'm a do it and not look back. You know what I'm saying? So that's always like whatever I can do in here to build upon that, I'm gonna do that. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Well, before we go, now I'm going to ask more Kobe questions.
For sure.
What do you feel like was his best dunk?
His best dunk,
or your favorite? I'll say that your favorite.
My favorite Kobe dunk was the baseline against Timberwolves. That was the Timberwolves. That I think it was.
Older, yeah, you dunked on KG and Cerovic.
That's my favorite Kobe dunk. My favorite Kobe play was also against the Timberwolves in the playoffs when he crossed over Sprewell, but he missed the three. Like Sprewell fell, but Kobe missed the three. That's probably one of my favorite Kobe plays. Like one of my favorite joints.
Yeah. 04 playoffs.
Yeah, bro.
I was gonna say mine. My favorite Kobe dunk is not really a popular one. It's from the 2000. It's a 07-08 regular season. They were in Utah, and he drove from the left side. He beat Kyle Korver, and he dunked on Karolinko. And he was like on him, and he had on the black.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, because they used it, and they put it in slow motion, but they used it in the Japan Kobe 4 commercial, where I forget what it was, him talking, and it was black and white. He kept saying, "Do you really want it?" And it was
okay.
Yeah, so they used that. Yeah. But that kind of seeing that also, I didn't realize that was what let me know that they market the shoes differently, and sometimes it'll be a whole nother commercial. I didn't even know they did that until that.
Yeah. Yep.
But my favorite Kobe moments, probably that game winner over Raja Bell in 2006. I used to be a manager of a local record store called Record Exchange in Cleveland, and we had closed down, and everybody had left but me, because I was like, I'm not leaving because I had the game on the counter. I'm like, the game is over.
Yeah.
I'm jumping up and down on my sales floor, happy because he hit that shot. Because I'm like, man, about to go up 3-1, and then we didn't win another game. But that was a great moment. And I really, even before he passed, I was really missing Kobe, because he was like just like how you feel, like he was like my superstar. Like everybody, I'm from Cleveland, born in Cleveland. Everybody loves LeBron. About a year or two after the decision, people started kind of coming back around to him. I always, messed with him. And to me, the Miami years were some of his best shoes, but he was never Kobe to me. And we would always, my dad and I, probably since Magic and them, we would always go see the Lakers every single year. And we were stuff. Even in the middle of that Kobe LeBron thing, like
Yeah.
I'm wearing my Lakers jersey or some sort of Kobe fit there to let people know, yeah, I'm from Cleveland, but I'm a Lakers fan. I even have a Lakers.
Yeah.
You know, no matter who they have, that's always going to be my team. But
Yeah.
another Kobe moment, the dunk on Spreewell when he was on the Knicks, the baseline in 02-03.
Yep.
That,
Yep.
you know, anytime he did a reverse, a windmill, 04-05, even though that wasn't a good year for us, Kobe had a lot of good moves before he got hurt. You remember the baseline he had against the Kings where he beat Doug Christie, and he did like a reverse dunk.
Yep.
Back.
Yep.
That's one of my favorites. Baseline 04-05 against Karolinko and the Jazz. He did like a reverse in traffic. Like when I'm picking out my Kobe's, I think about all of those moves. Like I'm never gonna have the Lakers Jordan 7s, but you know, gonna think of him. So
I think my favorite Kobe game, bro, or moment is when Kobe outscored the Mavericks. I actually like that game better than I like the 81 on. That's probably one of my favorite Kobe games, bro.
Oh man, I remember that. We had League Pass. 95-61 when they pulled about 362.
Yeah, bro.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite games.
But you know, just and see, that's the thing of what I got to see watching Michael Jordan in the 90s as a teenager. You know, it's like he's wearing the shoes that I'm wearing. Like that's why I understand the PE thing, but to me, the kids don't really get to wear the shoes the players have now.
Yeah.
Kind of the thing that sucks about nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah. KB8 the Kid, 2010, he hit the three over, I think it was over Grant Hill, and he tapped Alvin Gentry on the butt.
Yep.
Oh man, that was good because I mean Phoenix owned us for like 3 solid years.
Yeah.
And I was so happy we beat them in the 2010 Western. But but yeah, man. I mean, I really miss him. I don't want to get all mushy. I was really, you know, I was really sad when he retired. I mean, he had to retire, but you know, I really didn't want him to stop playing.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah, man. Well, you know, before we wrap up, did you have any questions for me?
I guess the only question for me is did you tell me what your favorite Kobe was?
I'm not sure. It's the 3.
The 3. The 3 is your favorite. Okay.
And I only have 2 because again they weren't really easy to come by and they still aren't. But I just have the black and white one. I bought those from Foot Locker when I was still working there, and I have the Minneapolis ones. I found those at the one Nike outlet that's in Cleveland area. So
okay.
You know, every other one is either Asia or it's too expensive or both. But
yeah.
I will say, and this is going to be very unpopular, the Kobe 6 is probably one of my least favorite ones. It's got the best, but I didn't like it like I like the 5 and the 7. I don't really, you know, the 4 is revolutionary, but I wasn't a huge fan of it out the gate either. It had to grow on me because I loved it. You know,
Understood.
But the 5 and the 7 are probably my favorite low tops, and I never bought any of the AD stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
You know, Mamba Mentality, Mamba Rage, any of those side shoes, that wasn't for me.
Yeah. Somebody said, what's your top 5 ever? My top 5 Kobe's is Orca 2's Snake Pool Hyper Dunks. Probably Finals Homes from when they played Orlando in the finals. Number 4 is probably it changes a lot. Probably gold medal 4s, and then no, I'm lying. It's Snake Pool Hyper Dunks, Orca Kobe 2s. Number 3 is Lower Marion Kobe 4s. I'm sorry, that was number 3. Number 4 is probably gold medal fours, and the fifth one is probably probably MVP threes. It changes a lot. But my main two is gonna always be orcas and snake pools. Those are always gonna be my two. That's gonna always be 1 and 2. Always. That'll never change. 3, 4, and 5 change.
Okay. For me, top 5 Kobe's I own. I don't know if I can put them in order. I'm gonna just say them. I mean the Orca Blackout Kobe 3, the Lakers Home or Thrive Kobe 2. I have the Hyper Dunk, the McDonald's All American.
Love those.
Fries. Yeah, those.
I did a corny picture where I took the insoles out and really bought McDonald's fries. Like, this is like peak Instagram. I really took a corny picture, took the insoles out, put fries and like ketchup on them and all. It was terrible.
Oh man, I think I'm about to say that. I think I remember something like that. Did you post that?
It's still up. If somebody's brave enough to scroll all the way down on my Instagram, it's definitely 100% still there.
Yeah, I think I remember that. The Westchesters and
Love Westchesters.
Yeah, probably the last one. The hype shit. It's got to be a toss up between the Grinches and what the Kobe ate.
Most expensive pair you purchase. The most expensive sneaker I've ever paid for, like ever, is a pair of Kobe's actually. And that's my first PE, the Kobe Rices. I paid $700. That's the most I've ever paid on a pair of sneakers anyway. And it's only like 12 pairs that exist or something wild like that. So the answer is 700. That's the most I've ever paid on any sneaker. And it happened to be a pair of Kobe's.
All right. For me, the most I've ever paid for a shoe is 300. And I bought a pair of original Carnivores from a guy I knew in 2005 or 6 years.
Wow.
They were like my holy grails. Those and the Bordeaux 7s were my holy grails when I really considered myself a collector, like 2003, 2004. Like I bought 4 pairs of OG Bordeaux's, and I might have got 2 or 3 wears out of, posted on Nike Talk, and then
yeah.
Separate.
Yeah.
You know, but those Carnivores, I still have them. They haven't separated, but I've started wearing a retro pair. So, you know, I think the most I've ever paid for a Kobe was the Kobe's. Nah, I'm tripping. Kobe 9. How much was the Kobe 9 at retail? What, $220 or the high top ones? So I think it's probably So if anybody has the Showtime Kobe 9, I still need that because it's Laker color.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, those are the. Trying to think if there's anything else. I definitely don't see no more. Somebody said, yeah, my unions I got bro. I mean, like me and Chris definitely fortunate because we worked for companies. So like when things were accessible, like I just needed it to be like in the store in my mall because like with Foot Locker, if you worked in a Foot Locker, somebody from Foot Action or Champs was probably going to hold you down.
Yep.
So for a lot of years, I got a lot of shoes for retail. A lot of shoes I got on, majority of them I got on discount. I'm bigger majority I got on deep discount. Then there were shoes I got on discount that I wasn't supposed to get on discount. Different things, but now sometimes like I got a lot of friends that like aren't into sneakers anymore or like don't want the things I want, and they'll try and they'll luck up. Like Travis Scott 6s, my friend my friend hit the green pair. I hit the brown pair. Certain like a lot of these Kobe Projos, the ones I were able to get, friends have hit on the app or things like that for me. So I've lucked up in ways like that. But 700 is the highest I've ever spent. Lewis, he's talking about the high top Showtime 9s, the all purple with the yellow. He's talking about.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll say the same. Like once you work in shoe stores, and I mean I work in a lot of shoe stores, you get used to where you don't even want to pay retail. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you get real spoiled. You get spoiled. You get spoiled.
60, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, word.
but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a beautiful thing just the same. I mean, I've got stuff from the last couple of 50s that I definitely haven't worn yet. That's just,
Same.
stack
Yep. Yep.
jackets, sneakers. Like, oh, I forgot I even had these. Where you could
Yeah.
literally.
Yep.
Well, I'm not gonna hold you, man. I appreciate this. I knew it was gonna be a longer show because I've been wanting to talk to you for a long time. Thank you so much for being on here, Daryl. I really appreciate it.
Bro, when I tell you this is like super fun, this is something that was like should have been happened, but I'm glad it happened, and I'm definitely appreciative for you thinking of me and inviting me on the show. And like anytime you need me to come back, even if it's not Kobe related, I got a ton of Jordans, I got a ton of Nike sportswear, a ton of other Nike basketball. Anything you need, definitely reach out, bro. You're the big homie, always gonna be the big homie, and I definitely super appreciate you and what you bring to the game. And like the thing that I love about sneakers a lot, not every sneakerhead is the same. Not every sneakerhead loves hype stuff. Not every sneakerhead likes basic things. A lot of people like to dibble and dabble in different things, and that's what like is the beauty of it. Like everybody, you don't have to like the same things. Like I love your Converse Magic posts. I love like when you post carnivore. I love that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like I told you, like everybody's content is different. Like I love when Lewis posts his shoes with his daughter because he's like, yo, I'm grooming my kids, and that's what I try to do with my daughter. I try to get matching sneakers for her, me, and my wife. And I mean, I love what Ed is doing this thing. Never wear them. He's doing this thing where he is doing like reels and stories with his shoes. I love when everything with Mark is like a story, or like why he made this Nike ID. You know what I mean? Like things like that. That's what I love, because like everybody, like there's so much storytelling in sneakers, and everybody just think, all right, I go spend this 150, I got these sneakers, I got them, you don't, or like these match my what like it's beyond that with sneakers, bro. Like
For sure.
all sneakers tell a story, and I really love that's what I love about sneakers. Like it tells a story. And that's pretty much it. I ain't going on this long drawn thing.
Nah, but they all, certain sneakers, evoke like the white, black, and red 13, the He Got Game. Is special to both of us for different reasons, but the same.
Yep.
So yeah, man. Well, as always, I'm gonna definitely, be in touch with you, checking on you, making sure everything is good with you. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and I will say this before I close it off. I really hope that Nike and Vanessa can.
Bro, I'm hoping, bro. That's one. Like I said, I hope they can bring it together, bro. Like I like a lot of this, that I say that people are saying, a lot of it is outside looking in. But from what she's asking for, I don't think it's a tall order, man. I think it's something that you should be doing.
Nah, and I mean, yeah, it can be done. I mean, Nike, and I'm not saying I hate the Clippers, but I'm not saying this to hate. If Paul George can even have a signature shoe,
You know what I'm saying?
if Paul George can have a signature shoe, y'all can figure out something with this Kobe line.
Exactly. I'm saying like exactly.
But I'm gonna close it off. Thank you again, man, and I'll be in touch. Everybody, thank you for joining. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. We appreciate y'all.
All right, peace.
All right, bro.
All right, now.